you know what? I put in all the effort to make these clips, and I just want them to be shorter now. I'm not going to lie. But Marty, I was going to come to you.
Oh, okay.
Is there something you would like to nominate to go into the Phantom Zone that we can discuss? That you make your case for it, and then we will discuss for a few minutes and decide if we are going to admit it into the Phantom Zone. So, what's some geeky related film, comic, TV, whatever you want that you are nominating to be sent into our version of Room 101, the Phantom Zone?
Yes, and I thought of this the last time I was on the show, and the reason I'm going to say it is because I know it's going to ruffle some feathers.
Is it Nick? It's Nick, isn't it?
Yes, I'm sorry. No. Into the
Okay, go on, Marty.
Into the Phantom Zone, I would like to put the entire Snyderverse.
You know what? I agree. I will back that play, Marty.
Oh, hang on. Let the man speak.
I will not back that play.
What's there to be said? It's complete garbage. It needs to go.
So wait a second. What do you define as the Snyderverse, Marty?
Like pretzels? All the types of pretzels?
All the films that all of the DC films that came off of whatever he.
Yeah, but but look, so the only one Zack Snyder was responsible for was Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Right. And I'm gonna say, and out of all of those films, the only decent one is Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman 2, but Wonder Woman 2 was so bad, I'm willing to put that movie in there as well and just chuck the whole thing.
Wow.
I'm gonna say one thing about Wonder Woman 2. Wonder Woman 2 is a crime against humanity. Every trace of that movie needs to be banished to the Phantom Zone instantaneously.
Well, here, and I will make this point as well. Not only is the entire Snyderverse garbage, it is made more so stinky and garbagey because the fans are so obnoxious and in defending all of these garbage films.
I would also like to add, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
I would like to also add the terrible version of The Flash that we all saw and we all hated. The only good DC movie I will venture to say that I'm using good in quotation marks are Wonder Woman, which is excellent, and Blue Beetle, which is fun.
I don't think. I mean, I'm going to stick by my guns, but I don't think I like that Nick is the only one that's defending me.
Well, hang on, look, we haven't got into stuff yet. I've been holding things back. People may know my feelings on this slightly already. Cap, what have you got to say?
Okay, so there were narrative choices that I would hardly critique on the Snyderverse, but it's no more than I would do the same for the Avengers and the Marvel stuff. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I did enjoy Man of Steel a lot. I first hated it, but then the film did grow on me. Second one, I did not like Ben Affleck's Batman character, but I did like Ben Affleck as Batman because Batman is a big dude, okay? All the actors that they got to play Batman was tiny and scrawny, didn't look like the peak human specimens who can beat up 10 criminals. Even the new guy. That's the only reason why I don't like it. This guy was the James Batman. Shut up, I'm making my point, Nick.
Go on, Cap, go on.
This was the Arkham Knight Batman seen in real life. He had the same Batmobile from the games, and those games were better Batman than a lot of the Batman stuff that came out of it. So, again, Snyder made some mistakes, but it's no more than the MCU did make. So I love the Snyderverse for that. I'm not going to hate it.
Okay. Let me give a couple of thoughts here. So, like, for me, like, Man of Steel, I've said the first time I saw it, I was super disappointed as soon as Superman's dad as soon as Jonathan Kent got sucked into a tornado, because the whole point of Superman is that he's got all these powers and he can't stop a heart attack. You know, so the fact that they killed off Kevin Costner in a tornado, I was like, you've lost me. But everything with Zod, and especially like I thought that that like Jor-El in it was like so good. It sort of went down when they didn't give Henry Cavill any lines, but I then said that Batman v Superman, everyone hated on it, and I thought actually this is really good. And then when you saw Justice League, everyone was like, this is great, and it was shit. But when you saw the true cut of it, it was really good. Now, if you want to include everything else, Wonder Woman was a really good film. Aquaman didn't really do it for me. I know it did very well. But then Suicide Squad was ruined by Warner Brothers. The Suicide Squad was ruined by James Gunn, and everything else that they have released. What if they, like the emancipation of Harley Quinn and crap like that? Snyder was fired years before that happened, when his daughter like had lost her life, and they did some shady stuff to get him out. If they'd let the man just finish his vision without trying to make it just the Avengers again, it would have been really good. That's my view.
And gave him a better writer. That's all they needed. Just they gave him a better writer, like with Christopher Nolan was still a part of the Snyder whole thing. I think it would have been turned out great. If he was like advising for the writing or stuff like that, it would have been like more like Man of Steel or fixed Man of Steel. Things could have got turned out pretty well.
Well, if you recall, Cap, I also think the Nolan Batman films are shit too.
See, you can't take his opinion seriously now.
Okay, but look, and I'll also say Blue Beetle was pretty fun. Aquaman 2 was dog shit, and The Flash was a lot better than its CGI. You know. So the CGI was bad, but the film was fun. But they didn't do good stuff with the cameos. Okay,
I'm just saying, I want the good, the bad, the ugly. I want it all put together and gone.
We'll vote soon.
With the Flash in particular, was who played the Flash in the movie? I don't remember the actor's name.
Ezra Miller.
But they should have used Grant Gustin, who was an excellent Flash.
Do you know what? The only thing with him is he had a public hissy fit that he wasn't cast in the movie when he was clearly playing a TV version. So screw him.
Why can't he play both? Why can't he not play both? He's a thing called an actor.
Yeah, no, but it would have the reason that he couldn't have played both is that it would have just made it that it was a spin-off from the Arrowverse. And but it wasn't. It was like a separate story, because then you'd have had a Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot popping up on Arrow each week.
Not each week, but like once in a while. That wouldn't be the worst.
They couldn't afford these things ever. They couldn't even get Henry Cavill in Shazam. Shazam is dog shit. Actually, I just remembered Shazam. I'm almost willing to throw the Snyderverse in there because Shazam is so bad.
Yeah.
Right,
you want to talk about the DC shows? Watch the Red Tornado episode of Supergirl. That Red Tornado costume it looks like something a blind cosplayer made.
Red? I don't even know what it is.
It is pure dog shit.
Is that Snyder's fault too?
Yes, it is.
Okay, go on, Dev. What were you going to say?
See, like at the beginning, I agreed. Like Zack Snyder does some pretty bad stuff. Although now with the arguments that you've made, is most of the arguments you have are things that don't involve Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Like say you're saying Wonder Woman was good, Wonder Woman 2 is bad. Zack Snyder had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Shazam, Zack Snyder had nothing to do with that.
Yes.
I'm just, fans are the ones that lumped all of these things together and called it Snyderverse. So
no, I don't think they did, because I think they called this the DCEU, which it took them 2 years for Warner Brothers to say we never came up with that DC extended universe. That was just something from a fan once, and it stuck. The Snyderverse, when they said continue the Snyder, the whole thing with Snyderverse is they were saying release the Snyder cut, but obviously when Zack Snyder's Justice League was being greenlit to be finished off, they were like, well, how can we continue this campaign to say we want the sequel? So that's where the term "continue the Snyderverse" came from, and that would have been none of Joss Whedon's Justice League, and it would have probably not continued any of the stuff with Shazam and Black Adam. Like, even Black Adam, as bad as it was, I think it's like fun enough. At least Dwayne Johnson was like, no, we need to get Henry Cavill in here and continue this with like the A-list superheroes. Right, go on, Cap.
Also, about again, this is the thing, Hollywood. I would say it's more than the fans, more than the director. It was the whole mess of studio and producers and Warner Brothers being shit. Okay, yes. That's the whole fiasco was caused by the
praise my
corporate dummies. Yes, it was them. They ruined even a thing that wasn't even off. Okay, it was a baby that was growing. Yes, it had flaws, but they could have been fixed. It could have been turned out better because it had so much potential. Talk about the toxic fans all you want, but if you don't control the narrative, social media will. That's the world that we're living in.
I knew I was starting a dumpster fire today.
Yes.
But you know what? I'm feeling it, guys. It's Nerd Rage. Nerd Rage!
Now, I am not a Snyderverse fan because it did got to a limit where I went, just rehash the whole thing. I was ready for that. But the reason why I never blamed them is because like we never got to see what Snyder actually wanted to do, okay? It could be Rebel Moon, but he wasn't that crazy yet, okay? He was doing a lot of things well. He was gonna be good. All he needed was a writer and a proper studio who was like backing him in a good way. You could still have control. He was still an early director. But if that whole thing been avoided, we would have been like so praising about the DCU, same as we would have been with Marvel. The only reason is that the producers and the corporate geeks did this whole thing dirty.
Okay, look, just before we'll continue, I'm going to try to be devil's advocate here. I'm going to say that it was because of Zack Snyder that we did get the Krypton penis ships. And let's not forget that. These were the actual spaceships, like the pods that they went off on in the Snyder Cut.
What is it with like it even imitates in real life with Jeff Bezos' rocket?
You know, I mean, I wish he would have committed. I mean, are they circumcised? Are they not? I can't tell.
Well, let's have a little look. Let's have a look here.
Why are we in like this?
Yeah, there you go. That's crazy. Okay, so Nick, what have you got to say? We're going to put this to the vote in a moment.
So, in the defense of DC, I love the. So, what this has been my thought on DC and Marvel for many years. Marvel does very good live action stuff. DC's animation is fantastic. And DC does, like, all their animated movies are great. Like, I love Batman Ninja, Batman Arkham Asylum, the Suicide Squad animated movie is really good, but they shouldn't have done live. They do very good animated movies, but not very good live action movies.
Oh my god, but they do though. Like the Dark Knight trilogy is good.
Oh, the Dark Knight trilogy is
Christopher Reeve, this is the whole reason we have any of this stuff.
Right, but at large, generally speaking.
And Nick, even the animated stuff, right? There were very few gems that after the Justice League Unlimited stopped, there were only the people who worked on it put out good animated stuff.
Like
there was
Teen Titans Go, the movie. Teen Titans Go.
It was terrible. Okay.
Honestly,
okay.
I haven't.
Well,
I have to say that
we're not talking about the animated movies.
Yeah,
no, I do have to make this point.
You're right,
the DC animated movies, everyone praised the DC animated movies, right? Everyone started praising it when the New 52 dropped. And I grew up on Justice League Unlimited, and I would say they were a downgrade, the New 52 animations. So okay. I don't know where everyone says, oh, DC's animated movie is great now. They were better before. No one talked about it.
Okay, Dev.
As a closing statement for the defense of Zack Snyder, I would like to bring out the fact that most of Zack Snyder's issues were because of outside influences, whether it be studios or whether it be like real life circumstances of his passing of his daughter, or like executive meddling that made him get removed from the production, or stuff like actors acting up like Ezra Miller and his little cult, affecting the entire DC universe, like DC extended universe. So I feel in the last 6 minutes of the Snyder Cut, when he did the Dark Knight, the Nightmare universe, was the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah, look, and he got the Joker right as well. I agree. You know, that was Jared Leto's Joker getting a little bit of redemption.
Done correctly.
Yeah. Okay, we are going to put it to the vote. So if you want to say like a quick justice, right, for why you're saying this, we're going to come to the man of the hour, Ryan. How are you voting on this? Does the Snyderverse get submitted into the Phantom Zone, never to be seen again, or do you vote to save it?
Throw it in there. I really don't care about comic book movies at all. 0%.
Okay. So that's 1-4.
One of them. Get
okay. Nick, are you for or against it?
I am against it.
So you're sending it into the Phantom Zone?
Yes.
Okay, so that is 2 in the Phantom Zone. Dev.
Against it.
Wait, so, you're throwing it in?
No, I'm throwing.
Oh shit! You just misvoted. Oh my god! That I'm not going to get into. Oh my god! Right? Okay, Cap.
I'm keeping it.
Okay, so
Cap, you're dead to me.
Okay, so it's 2 for, 2 against. Marty, are you for or against?
I want it to go into the Phantom Zone, and I want Zod, Non, and Ursa to defecate on it.
Oh, do you know what? That's quite a proposition. Do you know? I'm gonna say, sometimes, guys, you have to kill the things you love most. And Zack Snyder was ousted. They didn't let him continue the Snyderverse. And we ended up getting Ezra Miller's Flash with George Clooney cameo at the end. I'm going to agree with you, Marty. You have swayed me. It's going in.
David, you know what you just did? You can never use Henry Cavill's mustache ever again because it's now in the Phantom Zone.
Wait,
that meme was created because of the Snyderverse. Okay.
Hang on.
Listen.
Wait. I hear what you're saying.
Mission Impossible.
But there is one thing that you're all forgetting. I can do whatever I want on the show.
And here's the thing. Capelthave, the only movie that you want to see is Henry Cavill as Superman and Henry Cavill as The Witcher in the same movie, and the whole hour and a half that the movie goes on, they're just kissing.
Well, maybe, except for this morning. I think it was this morning. Capelthave is like, yeah, Brandon Routh was a much better Superman. I was like, where's this come from after a year and a half of Henry Cavill?
I really like Superman Returns. I really like Brandon Routh's Superman look more than Henry Cavill's one.
I like Brandon Routh as the Atom, or who is he in the? Yeah, he's the Atom.
Have you seen the Crisis Superman? Brandon Routh.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think Brandon Routh's best role is sat in catering. Now, let's go on to